Um, I just wanted to take the time to talk to you and do a little video blog. I'm hoping that can be the theme for Wednesdays on Photography Awesome Sauce, but I want to do a little coffee talk with Carrie, just talking about photography and answering some of the questions that I get from you guys on a daily basis. Um, so, even though I don't drink coffee, I do juice. So, I have my juice. If you have your coffee, you can drink it, or if you're on your lunch break, or you can sit here and listen to all the chat with wine. It's up to you. But today I wanted to talk about making time for your other passions while starting a photography business. Starting a photography business is super time consuming. It's my first year. I spent so much time working day and night. I have worked a full-time job. I taught kids. So then I would come home every night. I would probably make something crappy to eat for dinner, and then I would sit on my computer and network and work on Facebook and try and network via Twitter and email people. And I was emailing professionals in the area and trying to connect with them and just learn everything that I could. So it took a lot of time away from my family. But starting a photography business also takes a lot of work. So I just wanted to talk about how to balance a few of those things. I know that when you're a photographer, there are other things that you love, so you need to build time in your schedule for everything. So when you're working on photography, you need to set aside time and say, this is my time to work, this is my time to do photography. At 5 o'clock I'm done. I'm going to eat dinner with my family. I'm going to watch a movie with my husband, spend some time with him. I'm going to go out with my friends this weekend. So that's very important. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, you need to actually make a schedule, write it down. Write down what hours you're going to work on your business and what hours you're going to spend time with family. It sounds really stupid, but the other day my husband and I wanted to go to the dog park, and I wrote down in my planner, dog park, after I finished work, so that I would know I needed to make time to go to the dog park with him and our furry kids. So, what are other things that you love, though, aside from your family and photography? Because photography can't define you. One of my favorite books and movies, Eat, Pray, Love, talks about what is your word that defines you. And I just want to say, don't let it be photographer. Don't let that word define who you are, because that's not who you are. You might love it and it might be a huge passion in your life, but it is what you do. It's not who you are. It doesn't define you. So make sure you leave time to explore other things that you love. I love dogs, so we foster dogs for the Dalmatian Rescue and the Basset Hound Rescue. That's really important to me. I also have always wanted to learn to play the guitar, so I take guitar lessons. I love doing Zumba and yoga, and my degree is in art, so I love painting and drawing, and I make sure I make the time on a probably weekly basis to do one of those things. Some of them I do on a daily basis, just to make sure that I'm doing other things that I love to do. Because you're going to be a better business owner if you make sure that you're focusing not only on your business, but your family, and that you have other things you love to do that can make you feel relaxed and less stressed. So that was kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I also wanted to answer a few of your questions. I got a question this last week that talks about where can I have clients sign contracts online, and this is a great question. There's a lot of websites that'll charge you to kind of have like an online studio base, and one of them is shootq.com. I've tried them out. I like them. They might be a little pricey for some, but I actually prefer Pixify.com. That's Pixify.com. And that's who I use, because they're definitely a little bit more affordable, but I can send my clients documents online. I can also send questionnaires to brides so I can learn more about their wedding. I can take payments online and keep a calendar online, put up documents for my clients to read that'll help educate them about how to prep for their session and do all that kind of stuff. So I love that it's all in one place. You can also use services that are a little bit cheaper, like I think DocuSign.com. They do online contract signing. I don't know much about how they work. Let's see. Next question. Somebody asked me on my Facebook that they just got asked to do their first wedding, and what will they need? Well, the number one thing to have for weddings is backup equipment. It's so important that you have backup equipment, because the worst case scenario that you're at somebody's wedding and they're relying on you to take all the pictures and your camera breaks. So you need to make sure that you have a backup camera. If you don't have enough money to buy one right now, make sure that you budget renting one for the day of the wedding. That also means you need like a backup lens, you need backup batteries, and as far as resources go, I love Scott Kelby's books. There's 3 of them in his series, and they're really easy to read. You can kind of pick them up and put them down. They're not novels or chapters, but they have, I guess, just different pages that talk about how to achieve a certain look in a photograph. So it's very educational. It might help you out with some wedding stuff. And on my website, photographyawesomesauce.com, you'll also find an ebook about how to photograph a wedding, and it talks about how I do everything from the very beginning, the first time I get an email inquiry, all the way through booking, doing an engagement shoot, posing, everything you need to know about the day of the wedding, everything you need to know to prep, and everything you need to know to finish it off. So that's an excellent resource, and it's very affordable. Then last question of the day is, what camera do you recommend for a beginner? That's a tough one. I actually started using Olympus, which I don't find is a bad brand, but it's not one of the number 2 brands. So my backup camera is an Olympus E5, and it's their highest end camera right now, and I love it. And it's basically the equivalent of a Canon 60D or 50D. I use Canon now, so I have a 5D Mark II as my primary camera. But I've used a lot of other Canon bodies, and I would definitely recommend, if you're thinking about making this a professional business, the Canon 60D as a starter camera. It's a little bit more expensive, but the ISO on it is great, and I think you'll find it's a pretty great starter camera. I've known a lot of photographers who started out with that camera. As far as Nikon goes, I haven't worked with Nikon cameras a lot, but I've heard that the D90 is a great camera too. So that's maybe what I would recommend. But I don't really know, so I haven't used one. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Just remember, schedule yourself sometime this week to do something fun. And if you're looking for something super fun to do this week, I highly recommend the new Johnny Depp movie. I'm not a huge fan of Tim Burton, but I'm a huge fan of Johnny Depp. I heard he broke up with his wife, so he's single, ladies. Anyway, that's all today, guys, so have fun. See you next week for Coffee Talk. If you have a question you'd like me to answer on Coffee Talk or in person or on the blog, just make sure you hit the button at the top on the navigation bar that says Ask Me a Question and submit, and I'll be able to answer it here, or I'll answer it with you in person via email. Thanks, guys.